Before I let you go, Rachel, I got to throw one thing at you because this has been on my mind for the last couple of days. It's a WNBA question.
Okay.
I saw the price tag for the Connecticut Sun.
Yep.
$325 million. That Steve Pagliuca, the current co-owner of the Celtics, who was outgoing, is willing to pay to buy the Connecticut Sun and move them from the Mohegan Sun Casino to the Boston area, maybe the TD Garden, whatever. That is a staggering price tag. A staggering price tag for a team in a league that continues to hemorrhage money. This league has not made money, Rachel. They have not made money in its existence. And I know that a new TV deal is coming.
I was going to say, the TV deal kicks in next year, right?
It's coming. The TV deal kicks in next year. It's going to make things better, but it doesn't guarantee that the money's just flowing, right? Like, it still costs a lot to operate a league. There's going to be a new CBA that changes players' salaries. It just struck me as a huge number to pay for a WNBA team. I don't know if you had a reaction to that sale, but when I saw that number, I was like, oh, wow, that's a huge number.
Well, my reaction, first of all, was moving them to Boston would be a great idea because
100%.
It's just, I don't know, where they play now does not match.
I'm from New England. I only go to Mohegan Sun, or now I don't anymore because there's Encore in Boston. But when I was younger, I only went to Mohegan Sun when I was drunk and could get a ride from Boston College to the casino so I could lose some money down there. It is like a 2+ hour ride down there.
Drunk, Chris. I've never seen you drunk.
People in Connecticut don't go to the Mohegan Sun games. Their attendance is terrible. It is like going to Boston, no matter what. Like, that's the other side of it. Like, Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA are all like, oh, maybe we're not going to move them there. Like, of course you move them there if you have the opportunity. Move them there. It's crazy.
I mean, look at the Liberty. Moving to Brooklyn was a huge boom for them and completely changed their dynamic and fan base and everything else. So that was my first reaction. As for the money part of it, first of all, you, I'm sure, have a grasp on how billionaires pay taxes and millionaires pay taxes. And the idea that something is operating at a loss is sometimes an advantage for them because it cuts down on the amount of taxes they have to pay, Chris, because the way our country works right now, people with more money are taxed less. So I don't think financially, just in terms of, is this a good investment? I think you can look at it as the league is only going to trend up. That is the history of so many of these sports leagues. And you can kind of tell at this point that the WNBA is not going to fail like some of the former soccer leagues or some of the former startup leagues that we've had. So you will eventually have an investment that's worth that money. And in the meantime, losses aren't the worst thing to show in your tax returns. So I just think that this is what we're seeing with the valuation of the Valkyries recently is just that, you know, there is a buying mindset among very rich people for the WNBA who really believe collectively that this league is only going to continue to grow and want to get in at what we one day may look at $325 million as the bottom floor. I mean, we talk about these NBA franchises that are for sale and we talk about, you know, what the Lakers just sold for. You compare that to what Jerry Buss paid for them. I mean, it's insane, right? So I think a lot of people still see this, no matter how high that price tag gets and whether it, you know, goes up by another 100 million or something, as a really good investment for the future. And again, hemorrhaging losses is not necessarily the worst thing with the way our tax system works, especially for the sort of corporations that millionaires and billionaires form to buy these teams.
I get it, but I also think that people buy these teams to make money eventually, right? Like, they're not looking that long term. You don't want to have an asset you can write off on your taxes, do you? Like, I don't get the sense that's.
Well, as I said, I think this is an investment in something they believe will turn into.
Obviously, 100%. Like,
I don't think anyone's buying it thinking, man, this is going to be a loser forever, but that's good on my taxes. I'm just saying that if it takes a while to get there, the way our American tax system works right now, and I'm not giving any value one way or the other, it's just a fact, is that if you have a lot of money and you are able to move your assets around in a certain way, you pay less taxes when you have a business that's at a loss, and you can sort of, you know, corral some of your other profit-making businesses under that same umbrella. So you pay less taxes for those businesses because you have this loss on the other side of the ledger. So I think, you know, no one's buying in because they're like, oh, good, a way to improve my taxes. But I do think that if it takes a while to become, quote, profitable, I think there are people who are okay with it because in the end, the balance, the losses are not as much as they look to the, general public eyeball. That's all.
Yeah. It's just wild that the crappiest team in the WNBA, which is what Connecticut is right now, just sold for like $80 million less than the Bucks sold for in 2014. When Mark Lazary and Wes Edens bought that team. That's how much the Connecticut Sun have sold. That was just such an eye-popping number when it broke out for that team. And look, the new TV deal, like, I'm not too deep in the weeds on this, the WNBA salary stuff. I follow it more on a casual basis. Sure sounds like there's a lockout coming or some kind of work stoppage, coming in the WNBA. But even with this new TV money, like the total revenue is not a big number. Like the NBA, I think operates on like $12.5 billion per year. Like their operating income is huge. The WNBA, even with this money, is probably like $500 million. They're still gonna be climbing hills. They're still gonna be it's still gonna be an uphill battle for them to become a profitable, lucrative, league long term. I do think it's interesting. Like, when is Caitlin Clark's a free agent? One, the summer of 2027.
I think that's right.
I think that's the right number. Like, I'm of the opinion, Rachel, because I think that Caitlin Clark changes the financial outlook of a WNBA team more than any NBA player ever did. And it's not to, like, even LeBron, 2010, that was big. Going to Miami changed their valuation, sure, changed their fortunes. But Caitlin Clark is a guaranteed sellout every single night. I know she doesn't really they don't do local TV in Indiana anymore because every game's on national TV, but she is a ticket seller, a revenue driver, a merchandise seller, a television ratings bonanza. If it turns out she actually, and I don't know anything about how this is, when you can try to sign her to an extension, how that all works, but if she actually becomes a free agent somewhere in 2027, that is going to make the summer of the decision pale in comparison. That's how big that is going to be.
Yeah, I agree. Because, by the way, Caitlin Clark has reached so much of an audience that doesn't frequently watch basketball. Forget women's basketball. She has reached an audience that doesn't even care about basketball. So while some of these moves of these major NBA players have been documented like crazy by people like us, Caitlin Clark, if she becomes a free agent, that will be documented by, when I say mainstream media, I mean non-sports media.
Yeah.
Every second of the way. And by the way, look, all of these valuations, all of this new TV deal, knocking on every surface possible. Can you hear me? I don't know, on this microphone. If something happens, she has a catastrophic injury, all of this investment is going to have to really, it's going to be set back to such a degree, because the degree to which she is the driver, the percentage driver of this success, it's not possible for an NBA player in the post Magic Bird age. It's just not feasible for them to drive the ratings of a league as much, because there's just enough collective interest in other teams, other players. The league would survive if any of our big stars today suddenly snapped, and didn't exist as an NBA player anymore. But Caitlin Clark, WNBA loses Caitlin Clark for some reason. And again, knock on wood, I don't expect that to happen. But just to give an idea of what the percentage of sort of revenue and all of the things we're talking about, to get back to your valuation question, is based on her, and this on her shoulders, on her health, on her motor alone. It is kind of crazy when we're now talking about not the infancy of the NBA and the dollars we were talking about then, but to your point, $325 million based on the fact that a player for another team is driving so much of the economy of the entire league. That's crazy in and of itself. That's more crazy to me than how high the numbers are getting.
Steve Pagliuca would probably pitch, like, you can have the Celtics locker room all to yourself. Like, if they move the team to Boston, like,
she doesn't want that.
I cut a deal to have I know she doesn't want that. There's no indication she's anything but a team player.
Yeah.
But man, like, that free agency, I would love to chronicle it. Like, that's worthy of books. That's worthy of every article out there. Because, like, I'm making this up, but, like, let's say LeBron is worth 3x his salary to the league. Like, whatever he makes, he's worth 3x to the league. Probably more, but I'm just saying 3x. Yeah. Caitlin Clark is probably 30x to the league.
That's what I was trying to get across, is that it's just crazy. I have not been alive for a time when one player basically drives an entire league and a well-established 27-year-old league, whatever it is, 27, 28, I don't know.
28, I think, yeah.
28. But I've never seen it before. I've just literally never seen it before. I was a huge football fan as a kid, baseball, obviously basketball. It has not existed in my lifetime that one human is both responsible for, which is incredibly heavyweight, and then everything is resting on the valuation of teams that aren't even her team. I mean, it's just bananas.
Well, Rachel, teams that not to go too far down this free agency rabbit hole, but teams that there are one of the reports from the Globe about the Pagliuca deal was that he was going to commit $80 million to a practice facility for the team in the Boston area. That's going to be part of it too. Where am I going to go? What's going to have because there's only a set amount of money she can make on a max deal for her next team. What resources do you have outside of, the usual stuff that every team has? How big is your practice facility? Where do you stay in hotels? Things like that are all going to be variables. They're going to make all these teams level up. They're all going to be leveling up to try to, I think, to try to recruit her down the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's too bad Steve won't have a say in the Celtics organization anymore because, her boyfriend is an assistant coach with the Pacers. You draw the boyfriend to Boston or to one of these other cities. I don't know.
Give him the Rick Brunson treatment. Give him, here you go, seat in the front of the bench.
I'm just saying. But no, I mean, look, I hope she stays in Indiana. Personally, I really do. Because again, what she has built, this goes back to what I keep saying, what she has built with that fan base is so special. I know she's popular everywhere, all over the world at this point, but nothing is like sort of the fan reaction you get to her in Indiana, the Indiana history with basketball. I think it's a great place for her, and it elevates a place in the WNBA that otherwise wouldn't be getting that much attention because it's not a quote major city or major market. So I hope she stays there. She certainly has indicated not what she's going to do as a free agent years from now, but she has indicated how much she likes being there. So I hope she stays. You might never get your free agent book, but we'll see.
Would love to write it or at least read it from somebody. And look, she's a Midwestern person anyway. She chose to go to Iowa for 4 years, stay there for, what was it? I think she went all 4 years, right? So she chose to do all that. So maybe she'll make this entire conversation pointless, but I felt it was worth having anyway because I think that free agency would be really friggin' cool.
Absolutely. And it's a good opportunity to get back to your original point of why the valuations are so high. That valuations for other teams are skyrocketing because of a player who doesn't play for them. That is bananas. I have never seen anything like it.